Hello friends, this is Worm, and that's where the formalities are going to stop today because I am very disappointed in the Destiny community. Now, before we go any further, I want to point out this is not everybody, and I know that it's not everybody, and so if you're not one of these people, feel free to hear the rant and have fun listening to it. But if you are one of these people, and we'll talk about which people in just a second, you need to seriously reconsider your entitlement about Destiny 2. So this video is stemming from the reaction that players are having about a certain weapon that came with a Brave arsenal. And a lot of people are really mad about this weapon returning. It's Hung Jury, the scout rifle. And a lot of players are frustrated and they're saying, you know, oh, why are we getting this for a fourth time? Why is it, you know, why couldn't we have got something better? Like, nobody likes this scout rifle, blah, 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 blah. Ranting and raving about why Hung Jury's back and how they should have picked something better and how Hung Jury, they're sick of seeing it, blah, blah, blah. And this is so aggravating. Now, of course, on a surface level, you know, why are we getting it back another time? Like, we've had it for the past however many years, because Hung Jury's been around in Destiny 2 for years at this point. And you can still go and get the Nightfall version of the weapon, but on a surface level, I could understand. I could get behind, okay, like, yeah, I could see why it's a little bit frustrating, you know, that we're getting this weapon back again. But at the same time, like, the reason why I say these players have this sense of entitlement, like players that are mad about Hung Jury coming back for a fourth time have a sense of entitlement, is because these are hardcore players that think the game should revolve around them, right? I mean, was getting Recluse not good enough? Was getting Mountaintop back not good enough? Was getting Blast Furnace and Luna's Howl and Falling Guillotine, like, were these guns not good enough to get back that you have to complain about Hung Jury? Which Hung Jury, mind you, is a staple of Destiny's history. Okay, like let's take a little trip down memory lane. Okay, Hung Jury came out in Destiny 1. It was a dead orbit weapon, and it had some fire rolls, triple tap Firefly, outlaw Firefly. Like, it had some great rolls that players absolutely freaking loved. And if you had a Hung Jury, the chances are Hung Jury is what you were taking into 90% of the content you were doing. Like, I know I had one, I think I had triple tap and Firefly. I took that into basically every level of content, whether it was a Nightfall, whether it was a raid. Like, I took it in because it was such a phenomenal weapon. It had a level of stature in the Destiny community back in D1, and then it of course left us, and then it came back in D2, and players were ecstatic about its return in D2, you know, as a Nightfall weapon. You know, we got the first iteration, and I can't remember all the perks. I think it could get Outlaw Firefly though, and maybe triple tap and Firefly, and then of course it came back to us again, and this time it had a little bit of a different perk roll, and then it had a neater shader on it, that gold trials theme, and then it came back another time, back with the silver shader, but again a different set of rolls, and now it's returned to us for the fourth time. And guys, like, I could understand why you'd be mad if Bungie said, oh, we're having a lot of, you know, cool weapons that are coming back, if that's all they said. But they literally specified that they are bringing back iconic Destiny weapons. Like, I literally don't know a weapon that's more iconic than Hung Jury. Like, I cannot think of one off the top of my head outside of maybe Thorn and Last Word, which are exotics, because those were incredible back in Destiny 1. Like, Hung Jury was the PvE equivalent of Thorn inside of Destiny 1, and it left us, and then it came back, and it's still an amazing scout rifle. And scout rifles are in a different place than they were in Destiny 1. In Destiny 1, they did a lot more damage. They were a very safe option, and that's why they were changed so that they're still a safe option, but they're not dealing as much damage as, say, like a hand cannon or a pulse rifle or something like that. But at the same time, like, if you've been a Destiny player, you cannot deny that Hung Jury is not like a fantastic, iconic weapon in Destiny's history. And that was the whole point of the Brave Arsenal. Like, Bungie specifically said they want to bring back iconic weapons from Destiny's history. This is why we're getting the Mountaintop and the Recluse. These two weapons were iconic. Luna's Howl, same thing. It was an iconic weapon. Falling Guillotine was an iconic weapon in Destiny's history. You know, and we got some other ones, Forbearance, you know, so there's other weapons that came with it too, but all of these weapons that are, like, have returned to us have had some level of icon in the Destiny community. You know, Edge Transit was a meme weapon, for example. Mountaintop and Recluse were two of the hardest to obtain weapons, and they were some of the best weapons, both PvE and PvP. Luna's Howl was a PvP monster when it first came out. Like Blast Furnace was a just incredibly solid pulse rifle. Like all these weapons, they have a place here, and I 100% agree that Hung Jury has a place amongst the Brave arsenal. It is literally a goated scout rifle. Like if you look at all the legendary scout rifles in the game, I guarantee you Hung Jury is the best. It has the most usage. I would assume. I haven't checked the numbers, but I would assume it probably has the most usage amidst people who have it in terms of other scout rifles. It's got some of the best perks we've ever seen. You know, rapid hit, firefly. It had you know, shoot to loot, kinetic trimmers. Like it has so many awesome rolls. Box breathing can roll on it. Box breathing is a PvP goat. It drops its TTK down to what is it, like 0.7 or something like that, 0.8, 0.7. I can't really remember the TTK. 3 tap from any, like basically any distance. Like that's insanely good. It's an absolute powerhouse, and players are for some reason mad about it coming back. And really, this is where, you know, I want to talk about the entitlement, because I feel like a lot of Destiny 2 players, they complain. They say, oh, the casual community feels entitled, and the casual community is ruining the game, blah blah blah. But then they like don't realize their hypocrisy when they're complaining about something like Hung Jury. Like hardcore players are not the only people that are playing Destiny 2. Like casual players who have never done a Nightfall, who've never got a Hung Jury, can now experience the power that the weapon has. Like it is such a good scout rifle. And if you're watching this video and you're maybe a newer player or something like that, and you don't know what Hung Jury is the scout rifle you can get, just came with Into the Light. Go pick one up, go focus it or attune to it, whatever it's called, and get as many as you can and play around with different roles, because it's an amazing scout rifle. And the hard, you know, but back to what I was saying, you know, the hardcore, and I wouldn't even say it's necessarily hardcore, because I don't want to group everybody into one, but a majority of the people that I see that are whining and upset about Hung Jury's return as a Brave Arsenal weapon are players who've been playing for a long time. And I cannot figure out why you think that it should have been something else. Like literally, what's more iconic? Like if you're one of these players, if you're mad about Hung Jury coming back, like, you know what, that's fine, that's your opinion. I don't think you should be mad, but that's your opinion. But tell me, like, why don't you think it deserves a place on the Brave Arsenal? Like, what other scout rifle would you have replaced it with? Because literally, I can't think of another iconic scout rifle, a legendary scout rifle. Outside of Hung Jury, maybe Vision of Confluence, but that's a raid weapon, you know? Maybe, I mean, that's all I can really think of. Hung Jury is the king of scout rifles, the undisputed king of scout rifles. And of course, you know, people say, well, they could have put in an auto rifle, they could have put this, blah, 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 blah. But again, Bungie said their whole idea behind this whole Brave Arsenal is to put iconic weapons. And Hung Jury is an iconic weapon. Not only that, but they also switched up its roles. They gave us new roles. They gave us new combos and stuff to try. So it's not like we're literally getting the exact same carbon copy scout rifle for several seasons now. Like every time it comes back, there's a new, you know, there's a new perk combination, there's a new this, that, or the other, blah blah blah. And like they're all good. Like this season you can get kinetic trimmers to roll in the first column, you can get firefly to roll in the second column. Boom, that's your sustained DPS and your ad clear on one weapon. Like that's an incredible combination. So why are we so like frustrated? And I think another thing is like players just don't like scout rifles. Like if we're being honest, like hardcore players, they would rather stick to their, you know, hand cannons, their auto rifles, you know, and stuff like that, and not use scout rifles, because scout rifles are in the grand scheme of things weaker than other weapons, but they're weaker for a reason. They're weaker because you can sit way the heck back out of, you know, in safety and pick enemies off and stuff like that. So yeah, but you know, with all that being said, like it's just, stop being so entitled. Stop thinking that the center of the universe revolves around you, and that Hung Jury shouldn't have come back because it's been around and you've got X amount of god rolls and you've had it for so long. Because there's so many players that don't even know what Hung Jury is. Like I could go on my friends list in Destiny 2 right now and pick out like 4 or 5 people that have no idea what Hung Jury even is, you know, and now they can go and easily obtain this awesome weapon, this iconic Destiny weapon, and use it and feel how good it is. But I don't know, that's my rant for the day, I guess. It's so aggravating to see all these people complaining about Hung Jury coming back, and Hung Jury is a goated weapon. I mean, it is, and in fact I would say it is aside from the Stranger's Rifle, it's like the oldest weapon on the list, right? So like maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm forgetting about a weapon, but I'm pretty sure that outside of Elsie's rifle, which was formerly known as the Stranger's Rifle, Hung Jury is the oldest Destiny weapon in the Brave arsenal. It deserves where it's at, and it's not some ambiguous weapon that they just brought back because, hey, like, why not? Like, who remembers this? You know, no, like, it had stature in the community because it was so dang good back in D1. It's been so good in D2. I have no issue with Hung Jury coming back. In fact, I'm very pleased to, you know, go in and try to roll for a really awesome roll. You know, a kinetic trimmers Firefly roll would be awesome. But anyways, with that being said, I want to hear your thoughts on Hung Jury. I know that, again, this is not everybody in, you know, in Destiny 2 that's complaining about this, but there are a noticeable bunch of you who do complain about Hung Jury being back. And if you do complain about Hung Jury being back, tell me your complaints as to why it's a problem that it came back, down in the comments below. Of course, if you've never got a Hung Jury, like I said, go out and get one and then come back and tell me how awesome it is, because it's a fantastic scout rifle. And yeah, that's it for this video. Like the video, it helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content. And guys, do me a favor, watch the videos you see here on the end screen, because for whatever reason, YouTube thinks you will like them. We'll see y'all next time. Bye for now.